Today's tutorial is going to still animate, but we're stepping it up a notch. So what if I have this street kind of set up, this basic street, and I have a car going down the street, but I don't want it to just go straight. That would be a location change. That would just be some movement. But I want it to not only move down the street, but make a right turn to come down this side of the street. So it's all stuff that you know. It's all not anything new, except what you do is just a little bit different. So I have my timeline here. I have my setup. I even set it up so that my camera is on what I want it to see. And you can see I used like a blue for sky, green for ground, and black for the streets. I'm going to come back out of camera view and just think about the car. The only thing that's really moving is the car. I want it to go straight. I want it to turn, but it's also moving while turning and coming down this side of the street. So the first thing I want to do is, this is its initial position. I want to set that. So I want to insert a keyframe and think about what I'm doing. I'm going to be changing its location and I'm going to be rotating it. So there is an option for it. You just have to think about what my object is doing. Ultimately, by the end of this animation, it's going to be moving, it's going to be changing its location, and it's going to be rotating. So I'm going to select location and rotation, and it added a little keyframe. I want it to go straight, so I'm going to just move this car down the road and set its location and rotation, and it's going to start making this right-hand turn. So I'm positioning my playhead. I'm also going to start positioning my car. I want it to move, but I also want it to rotate. So I'm starting to make that turn. And now, once I have it in position, I can insert the keyframe and set the location. I want to just test it out. So I have it moving straight. It's going to start making that turn, that right turn. I need to finish the turn a little bit, so I'm just going to come out here a little ways. Continue to move it. It's not quite rotated the way I want it to, so I'm going to reposition it a little bit. Set its location and rotation again. And now it just needs to move on its merry way. So I'm going to position it, my playhead again, and move the box, move the cube, move the car, and set its location and rotation. So all in all, I have an animation with the car slowly moving down the road. It starts to make its turn, and then it speeds off. And that's exactly what I wanted. So just stepping animation up a notch. I'm going to review how to render this as an AVI file as well. So I want to click on my folder, where I want to save it to, save it as car. I also want to save it as an AVI raw file, so I want to make sure I do that. Always check the position of the camera, play it, see if it's coming into the scene, it's leaving the scene. I actually am not liking that. I want it to leave the scene. So I'm going to move this car out a little bit farther. So I'm going to come back out of the camera view and move this out of the way. So now that I have that, I can test it again, but I know that that's okay. I can go to the render, animation, and it keyframes out every frame in this animation for 250 frames. So that's the default. I'm going to get out of here. You don't need to watch all of this, but it's just a little bit of review on animation and rendering as an AVI.